Hello and welcome to the Grand Prix podcast! Welcome to Loophole Land, the ultimate Formula One theme park. Step right up and buckle up for the most mind-bending, rule-breaking, engineer-defying experience in motorsport history. Here at Loophole Land, we don't survive in the black and white text of the rules set by the FIA, just like the brilliant innovations in F1. We thrive in the grey area. From the death-defying suspension of disbelief to the heart-stopping Dasso scary system, and many more. Every attraction designed by the same brilliant minds who turned F1 regulations into their own personal playgrounds. Your ticket to the ride? Pure innovation, audacity, and a healthy disrespect for the phrase, that's not allowed. Because here at Loophole Land, if the rulebook doesn't explicitly say you can't do it, then you absolutely should. Today, we're taking you on the ultimate ride through F1's most ingenious rule-bending adventures, Loophole Land, where innovation meets insanity. All rides are subjected to FIA technical regulations and post-race scrutineering. Side effects may include sudden regulation changes, competitive process, and an uncontrollable genius. Let's get started!
Woo! You know why I'm so excited for this episode?
Why?
Because we met at a theme park.
We did. In line for the popcorn.
It's not true. I don't like popcorn.
What?
I don't like popcorn.
Yes, you do.
When do I get popcorn?
I don't know, but everybody likes a bit of popcorn.
I don't.
Cinemas.
No.
Circus.
No.
Fun fair.
No.
At a very highly themed wedding.
No.
Oh.
No, I love a roller coaster. So I'm excited for this theme.
Thank you very much. I decided because theme park rides do a loop-de-loop, and we're talking about loopholes.
Ooh.
And technical loopholes can take you on twists and turns away from the rulebook and into the unknown of ingenuity.
You know what I realised? It doesn't take you long to come up with a theme for an intro because all you do is just take one word that sounds similar to another thing. And you're like, yeah, that works as an intro.
Thank you.
And also, what we do is, on Tuesdays, we post, like, the teaser pic on our socials of what the next episode is going to be. And that is always done before Iz has time to start writing her intro, which means that the theme of that never actually matches the episode. So for this episode's teaser, it was like a cheat code book, you know, like the old school magazines and stuff with all, like, the gaming cheat codes and stuff. That was what the picture was that teased this episode. But actually, that's completely irrelevant.
Hey, Nav, I have an idea.
Yeah.
Should we rank her intros? Or some of our favourite?
Save it for the Patreon.
For the Patreon!
That's going to be our answer when we don't want to do something on the pod.
Oh, I thought that would be fun.
Go on then.
Top one is the Gen Z one.
Thank you.
Monaco.
That's very funny. Oh, no. You're not allowed to contribute to this.
I'm telling you what episode it was from.
Nope, this is my time, thank you. You're not contributing. So, Gen Z one.
Thank you. Skibbity.
Skibbity, yes. Run down, hoe down.
Yeehaw. Thank you.
Yes. And then for some reason, the spa one. It's very relaxing.
Oh.
Yeah, I love that one.
Spa.
Spa!
Thank you.
So let's get into Loophole Land, shall we? The first F1 championship, as you know, Reem, started in what year?
1950.
Well done, and it has been named Formula One for 75 years. The reason for the name refers to the large set of regulations that every car and driver must follow in order to race in a Grand Prix. In other words, Formula One is a sport literally named after the rulebook.
They also trialled the idea of calling it Formula A, but then they decided to go with Formula One to say, like, number one, it's the most premier formula. That was what they were trying to show, like premier racing, top pinnacle, you know?
So being named after the rulebook, that's kind of ironic because there's no other sport that spends so much time changing and updating the rules like F1 does. Formula One is as much a technology problem to be solved as it is a competition to be won. It updates itself to stay at the forefront of elite car development and technology and to stop the competition from becoming stale and predictable. The first edition of the technical rules for the 1950 season were taken from the 1947 rules from championships before F1 was created, and they were catered for cars with either 4.5-litre normally aspirated engines, as in pre-war years, or 1.5-litre supercharged engines, which were effectively a pre-war Formula 2. This had worked well, so when the rules for the World Championship were formalised, the same capacity options were specified for 1950 through to 1953. Now, in 2025, the official technical regulations are 178 pages long.
Do you know how I know that?
How?
I googled it.
Nice.
They're available on Google.
Interesting fact.
No, but don't you think that's a bit random? Like that you can look them up and just click on them and read through all of the regulations that they have specified for the F1.
I know what I'm doing tonight.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it's like almost like terms and conditions. No one actually reads it, but legally it's available.
I think all the teams read them quite thoroughly, actually.
They've got lawyers and shit.
Yeah, but I would assume it's like a manual that you get handed. Like, you are an F1 team. Here's the regulations. I didn't think it was just like you could just Google it.
Yeah, fair.
We must stray away from the internet.
With so many rules, technical specifications, and goalposts to stick to, the history of the sport is littered with innovations created to give a team lasting advantage on track. There is just one problem with loophole technology. It never lasts long. Teams will stumble across an interpretation of the rules that allow them to create a car with a year's advantage, and other teams are shameless at replicating it the second they figure out what it is that the other team has done. This was the case for South African designer Gordon Murray when he saw a rival team come out with a performance-enhancing piece of design. He knew what to do. He said, "Some people resent them, I never do. I just get on and copy it."
Fair enough. At least he's transparent.
Yeah.
It's not much, but it's honest work.
Yeah.
Is it?
Welcome to the terrifying technical regulation House of Horrors. Ooh. Remy, what's wrong with you? Why aren't you making a noise?
Since Halloween is still a month away.
Not today, it's not, because I've got... Oh no, I've gone off script. Reem and Nav! So just ignore that. Reem and Nav, would you dare to step up to the first spine-chilling attraction here at Loophole Land? Of course you do. No one answered me. This is an immersive experience, a house of horrors so absolutely terrifying, so mind-bendingly, yes, I do use the word mind-bendingly quite a lot in this script, get used to it, electrifying, so soul-crushingly haunting that it'll make every other scary experience in your comfortable privileged life like a Sunday stroll through a field of daisies.
Privileged?
Yeah, no, you have a lot of struggle.
I do.
No, you do.
I do.
I know. The price of oat milk and Waitrose is going up, babe.
So sign up to our Patreon.
And you, Reem, it's hard to find a spa that does the right facial that you want.
Sorry, who was looking at trainers today to add to their collection of like 25?
And what did I buy?
A CBD bath bomb.
Yeah. I realise I'm old.
I bought an Ewok Lego.
And how much was it?
No comment.
The challenge awaits.
What's that?
Those you guys walking up to the attraction.
Oh, okay.
You guys didn't make the noise, so I had to make it.
We didn't know what noise that was meant to go there.
You will venture forth, if you have the courage to do so, through twisted corridors that echo with the screams of confused engineers. Oh, it's a bit more feminine than I was expecting, but okay. Mirrored mazes reflecting the infinite technical regulation nightmares. Really? Nothing? Okay. Pitch black walkways where only the bravest F1 nerds dare to dread. Have you heard Adrian Newey talk? He doesn't make weird noises like that.
It was a bit of a nerd laugh now.
Okay, fine. Along the treacherous journey, phantoms will emerge from the shadows to pose spine-tingling questions about the F1 technical regulations. Your task? Answer true or false. If you manage to speak through your terror, that is. Get it right, and you earn 1 precious point and live to see another corner. Get it wrong, and you will be condemned to be frozen in time like the technical regulations themselves. Never to move, never to change, never to evolve until the year 2026 when the next major regulation overhaul might just set you free. So, do you accept this challenge? You do! Fantastic! No, because if you say no, that's not funny. What?
But first... maniacal laughter off.
Oh, deal. Okay, fine, I got you.
Go on.
Okay.
That was quite
Damn,
good.
yeah.
Reem, you're up.
No, why me?
Because we're all having a maniacal laugh off. Come on.
No.
Your face said no emotion. Which in its own way was quite maniacal.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, well, it wasn't a Father Christmas off, so what are you doing?
There you go.
Oh, I've just done you so dirty.
Every time you fuck up on this podcast, I'm leaving it in.
No!
Yeah.
No!
That's maniacal, isn't it?
No, please don't. You already leave them in.
Round 1. Do you understand the rules?
Mm-hmm.
True or false?
True or false?
Oh, okay, good. Okay, fine. I thought maybe there was too much pizzazz that you had to get through there. Round 1. True or false? Bodywork declared as rear wing end plate body must be a single volume with no apertures.
Say that in English.
No.
You don't have a translation for Reem.
No.
Please.
You're having to guess whether this is a real regulation in the
Okay,
regulation
say it again.
rulebook.
As in the current regulation.
The 2025 technical regulations
Okay.
available on Google.
Okay. Rerun it.
Oh my god. Bodywork declared as rear wing end plate body must be a single volume with no apertures.
I have no idea what that means.
True.
Reem?
False.
Ding, 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 Nav! Yay! You get a point, and you live to see another corner. You aren't doing great. Okay, round 2. True or false? No fuel bladders must be wider than 40 miles per hour across a race distance at all times as instructed by the FIA.
Bladder. Sorry, I got distracted by the word bladder. I missed the rest of it.
No fuel bladders must be wider than 40 miles per hour across a race distance at all times as instructed by the FIA.
True.
False.
Obviously false.
Oh.
Well done. You are not doing well. How does it make... It doesn't make any sense. No fuel bladders can be wider than 40 miles per hour. That doesn't make any sense.
Do you think I understand what any of this means?
Yeah, but if I said to you...
I'm going off of vibes.
Yeah, but if I said, like, this dress isn't wide enough, it's like, it's not even 40 miles per hour. But what are you talking about? Hello?
Miles per hour isn't a dimension.
That's a speed. Like, if you're speeding, you're going, oh, sir, sorry, sir, I need to see your registration number. You're going 60 miles per hour in a 50.
Yeah.
But you can't say, oh, my sofa is 40 miles per hour in depth.
Yeah, fair. You were confused too.
I was just locked onto the word bladder.
It is actually called a fuel bladder.
Oh, God.
Damn.
Okay.
Yeah. It makes sense. You put fuel in the fuel bladder, right?
Tank.
Oh. Round 3. The voltage breaker must be minimum 3 meters long and deviate across the ICU valves with no limit wider than minus 5.8 centimeters. True or false?
True.
True.
You're both wrong!
No!
You are going to be dead soon. Round 4.
I thought maybe I'll try it this time and say the same as you.
Okay, so
As soon as she said true as well, I should have changed my answer.
you should have.
Yeah.
So to clarify for everyone listening that's definitely on the edge of their seats listening, it is Nav 2 points and Reem 0. Round 4. Main oil tank level measurement. The measurement of the oil level in the main oil tank must be supplied to the FIA at all times. The main oil tank is the oil tank directly connected to the oil feed at the inlet of the oil pressure pump. True or false?
I'm going to say false.
You have a point, Reem!
Yes!
You are no longer pointless.
Yay!
Well done.
Thank you.
The points are 2-1. True or false? The gearbox case must fully enclose the RV cassette. There must be no suspension components inside RV cassette in any condition.
True.
False.
Nav, you have another point. You've extended your lead. You have cobwebs around your feet. Beware. The current points are 3-1. Round 6. The overall mass of the power unit must be a minimum of 151 kg. True or false?
True.
True.
You're both correct. This last one is for 3 points. 6 points. 10 points. This last one's for 10 points.
Why?
This is the final decider. Pistons must be manufactured from an iron-based alloy and must be machined from a single piece of material. True or false?
What are pistons?
True.
False.
Nav, well done! You have won!
I thought you were
Reem,
trying to
you
trick me.
Reem, I'm now going to look at the flick of the wrist. You are now frozen until 2026. You have been officially homogulated.
Yeah, it's fine. It's
No, you're
only
not meant
a few
to talk. You
months
can't
after the
talk
year.
or move. You're frozen, just like the regulations.
But what would I do for the rest of this podcast?
Thank you. We'll speak to you next episode.
What, 2026?
Yes. Nav, congratulations.
Thank
You
you.
have understood the ingenuities, complexities, and difficulties that surround the technical regulation because, boy, oh boy, I didn't understand much of what was written there. Am I right? And with that, we move on to our second ride of Loophole Land.
Step right up and try the most incredible coaster on the park. The Ground Effect Vacuum Vortex!
Fucking loved the mouth
Yeah.
shape that you did when you did Vortex.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Now, on this thrilling ride, you get literally sucked through underground tubes at increasing speeds as you get closer to the ground. It features transparent floor sections where you can travel through the Venturi tunnels, creating a spine-tingling vacuum effect below. And remember, with the ground effect vacuum vortex, the lower you go, the faster you go. Meet the maverick who changed Formula One forever. Colin Chapman, a former Royal Air Force pilot who swapped fighter jets for racing cars and turned motorsport into rocket science. Chapman had a philosophy that was pure genius in its simplicity. Adding power makes you faster on the straights. Subtracting weight makes you faster everywhere. In 1952, he founded Lotus Racing, not Lotus Biscoff.
Thank you for clarifying.
But here's the clever bit. Chapman recruited talent from de Havilland, an aircraft company. Why? Because the principles of innovation were identical whether you were building planes or race cars.
And because it was 1950 when F1 began and the Second World War finished in 1945, a lot of resources, time and efforts had gone into aviation, e.g. flying for fighter jets and such. So a lot of the principles from aviation switched over and became very useful when it came to the aerodynamics of F1 cars.
Interesting.
The 1960s were Chapman's golden years. Ideas poured out of him so fast that by the time one innovation was ready for development, he was already 3 concepts ahead. Chaotic? Absolutely. Brilliant? Without question. First came the Lotus 25, pioneering monocoque construction that revolutionised car design. Then Chapman did something that changed F1's entire visual identity. When authorities allowed sponsorship displays in 1968, he ditched Britain's traditional racing green for the bold red and white of...
France.
Where does that come from?
We did it in the commercialisation episode.
Italy. No.
What? It's not a country.
Oh.
It's a sponsorship deal.
Oh. Red, white, of... Sponsor.
It's not a country. Don't say Japan because it's not a country.
Gold Levi's. No.
Gold Levi's.
Tabasco. No.
Oh my Christ.
Tobacco. Good tobacco.
Yes, gold leaf tobacco. This single decision sparked a 40-year marriage between F1 and the tobacco industry, and we spoke about it on the commercialisation episode. Hopefully you remember it more than Reem does.
I do. Now I do.
France. Your initial answer was France. Your next answer was Tabasco.
We're going from country to country.
You mentioned Italy somewhere in there as well.
But 1977 was when Chapman truly rewrote the rulebook. He created the first F1 car to fully harness ground effects, essentially turning the car into a road-hugging missile. More grip meant carrying incredible speeds through corners, making the car feel like it was cornering on rails. Chapman was so confident in his secret weapon that when Mario Andretti wanted to test it at the 1976 Grand Prix, Chapman refused. He didn't want rival teams seeing what fresh hell he was about to unleash.
Oh.
The obsession with perfection bordered on madness. Chapman was so fanatical about weight that fuel loads were measured to the last drop. His instruction to engineers: set up the cars to finish races with less than 1 litre of fuel remaining.
Fun fact, Mario Andretti actually felt that this was getting too close to the mark. So before a race was about to begin, he would ask his engineers to put more fuel inside his car because he didn't like how fast it was going and it didn't feel safe. But then when Colin Chapman found that out, he was like, absolutely not, fuck that, keep adding less fuel.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's very unsafe.
Mm-hmm.
It's a man in charge, though.
Yeah.
The Lotus 79 was Andretti's dream machine, the closest thing to perfection he had ever driven. It delivered the World Championship at Monza, but victory was overshadowed by tragedy when teammate Ronnie Peterson died in a fiery crash. It was roughly the 40th F1 fatality in 28 years, and the 5th Lotus driver lost.
So on the side of Colin Chapman being a fantastic visionary for car design and coming up with revolutionary concepts and ideas, he had a driver called Jochen Rindt who wrote him a letter basically saying that he feels like he's kind of coming to the edge of not feeling safe in his cars, and he needs to start thinking about the fact that if he doesn't feel safe, he doesn't want to drive for it anymore. And he ended up being in an awful car crash in one of Colin Chapman's cars, where the seatbelt ended up slitting his throat and he died.
Oh my god.
So in the pursuit of Colin Chapman finding incredibly fast cars, he also at some times would push it too far and it would end up being very unsafe.
I mean, he's going to be remembered, well, he probably is remembered more for killing the drivers than designing great cars. If what he cared about is more about...
And on that note, the next line of my script, Chapman's true legacy, generations of engineers who made it their mission to bend every F1 rule imaginable. Their motto, if you can imagine it and it's not explicitly forbidden, race it until they ban it.
Oh.
Yeah. He was a visionary, and you have to remember the time of when he was doing a lot of that, when drivers were dying, it was also a lot more common for that to happen, as we covered in our safety episode. He was just set on constantly creating new ideas and pushing the envelope on what you could create in the sport. So that was what he did. And if you look at the ground effect idea, when he came up with the car concept in the late 70s, that aerodynamic concept is now the type of cars that we have today in F1. They've come back to it now that we've been able to find a way of making the aerodynamics. Now we understand aerodynamics more, that we've been able to come back to that concept of car. So in that sense, he was very ahead of his time. Are you ready for our next ride?
Yes.
Does anyone need a just in case wee?
No, I actually read that you're not meant to go for just in case wheeze.
Right.
What?
Apparently it weakens your bladder.
Well, what if you piss yourself from how scared you are?
No, apparently when you're going to bed at night, if you don't need a wee, you shouldn't go for a wee. And when you're leaving the house, if you don't need a wee, you shouldn't go for a wee. It weakens your bladder. And you should only actually go for a wee when you need a wee.
What happens if you know you're about to leave the house and you're about to go to a place where you can't go for a wee, but you don't need a wee, so you go for a wee just in case?
Well, I don't know. I didn't read that much.
Well, you should have read more for it. Okay, so to clarify, no one needs a wee.
No.
Our next ride, as we queue up for an hour queue, I'm afraid.
Don't you have fast track?
Oh my god, the person batching us in has seen us all the way at the back, and they know that we do this podcast, and we're being ushered to the front because we're celebrities.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
I think they're kicking us out. You've got
Shush.
it wrong.
No, they're kicking you out.
Oh.
Clearly on the booze. The suspension of disbelief, the ultimate F1 thrill machine. Ride the suspension of disbelief if you dare. Your high-tech capsule anticipates every twist and turn before you even reach it. Using hydraulic wizardry, your seat transforms from rock solid to silky smooth in mere milliseconds, keeping you perfectly level as you hurtle through impossible corners at breakneck speeds. Onboard computers read the track like a crystal ball, making you rigid 1 second and then compliant the next. Experience the smoothest, fastest ride imaginable as you glide through corners that should be impossible. Warning, this ride was so incredible it had to be banned. Experience it while you still can. You know Williams F1, right?
Mm-hmm.
James Vowles,
Mm-hmm.
Carlos Sainz,
Mm-hmm.
little Alex Albon moment.
Mm-hmm.
You know their team colours.
Blue.
Thank you. But the story behind this legendary team is also incredibly wild.
Oh.
Meet Frank Williams, the founder. In spring 1986, he was tearing down a country lane in the south of France when disaster struck. He lost control of his rental car, smashed into a wall, and plummeted 8 feet into a field. The car flipped, trapping Frank between his seat and the crushed roof, which broke his neck. Doctors declared him clinically dead 3 times, but Frank survived, but he would never walk again.
Oh.
Rewind to 1969, with just enough cash for a second-hand Brabham chassis and a couple of Ford Cotsworth engines, Frank launched his F1 dream. But success? That was nowhere in sight just yet. Frank was constantly broke. Relate. So broke that when his phone line got cut off for unpaid bills, he ran his entire F1 operation from a phone booth round the corner from his house.
It can't be that broke.
I've just explained a situation where he sounded entirely broke.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you know, having an F1 team, I know it can't be that broke.
That's
back
what's
in the
making
day.
him broke.
It was back in the
Yeah,
day.
but-
He did it on the skin of his teeth. In the paddock, they called him Wanker Williams. God love the British crowd, eh? He was considered a complete joke.
It's like a Ted Lasso when they're all like, wanker.
That's true!
Yeah.
I think wanker is an entirely British term. I don't think Americans really use the term wanker.
No.
I feel like if you say wanker, say wanker.
Wanker.
It doesn't quite work. Whereas if I say
Wanker.
oh, sorry?
Wanker.
It doesn't quite
Hello, mate.
Hello, wanker.
Ollie Behrman, what are you doing here? But Frank had a secret weapon, Patrick Head. After Frank's accident, Patrick essentially took control and started recruiting the brightest minds in motorsport, including a young aerodynamicist called Adrian
Newey.
Abigail. This challenge was massive. How do you knock McLaren and Ron Dennis off their throne? Patrick had been obsessing over one of Colin Chapman's ideas for years, and by 1991, he realised it wasn't just possible, it was the ultimate hack. The concept? Active ride suspension.
Ooh.
Thank God for you, Nav. What are you staring at me for?
I'm
No
listening.
noise, no pizzazz,
I'm
no sound
listening.
effect.
I'm engaged.
Give me a little sound effect.
Ooh.
Get your own.
Oh. Ew.
Oh! It solved a puzzle that had tormented F1 engineers ever since they started playing with aerodynamics. The key to maximum downforce was keeping the car's floor at a constant height above the ground. But traditional coiled springs, they bounced wildly or broke under the immense forces of an F1 racetrack. Chapman's team pioneered hydraulics over springs, allowing them to selectively adjust each wheel to keep the car level. But Williams took it further. They needed something that could anticipate bumps and corners, calculate speed and road contours, and adjust suspension on the fly, make the car rigid 1 second and compliant the next. In 1985, this seemed impossible, but by 1991, the computer revolution changed everything. Enter Paddy Lowe.
Ah.
God bless you. A young Cambridge graduate hired in 1987. His mission, create an electrical solution for active suspension. And 4 years later, he delivered F1's first functional onboard computer. Here's what made it incredible. Whilst most PCs in 1991 were bulky behemoths, Paddy created a device the size of a small paperback book, weighing just over £2. It could reprogram suspension remotely from the garage, keeping the car perfectly level at all times. The advantage? Over a second a lap worth of time.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. Williams realised that they were building a 200 miles per hour supercomputer. And the 1992 FW14B was the most complex race car F1 had ever witnessed. It had active suspension, semi-automatic gearbox, traction control, onboard telemetry, electronic data logging. The driver, Nigel Mansell.
Whoa.
Thank you so much. Nigel Mansell was a middle-aged father of 3 with a bushy moustache. Why did this work? The Williams car didn't need the fastest or the most skilled driver. The electronics handled that. It needed someone with the courage to take corners at 130 miles per hour while waiting for the active suspension to kick in and the strength to control it once it did. Mansell and Williams were unstoppable. Nigel clinched his first title with a third of the season still remaining. Then, hours after being crowned champion at the Hungarian Grand Prix, he shocked everyone by quitting F1 over failed contract negotiations. Williams didn't miss a beat though. They signed Alain Prost, who dominated his way to the world title almost on autopilot. By the season's end, Damon Hill, an earnest motorbike racer who didn't even start F1 until his early 30s, was matching the pace of 4-time world champion Alain Prost. Prost was so offended that he retired immediately. But someone was even more furious. Bernie Ecclestone, the man who ran F1. Watching Williams turn every single race into a predictable procession was absolutely unbearable for him. In early 1993, the FIA banned electronic driver aids. Williams appealed, but Bernie held firm. And just like that, active suspension, traction control, and anti-lock brakes were outlawed. The supercomputer era was definitely over.
Damn.
Cool, right?
Yeah. I didn't know Williams had a dominant era.
Fuck yeah!
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought they didn't. I thought they were
100% they did.
One of the most successful British teams in F1.
Really?
They have a fantastic history.
F1 really is based on recency bias.
Yes, 1,000,000%.
Because, like, genuinely, I thought they were just like a meh team.
No.
Interesting. I learned something new every episode.
And Frank Williams, he passed away, but he got like an OBE. I'm pretty sure he was Sir Frank Williams as well.
He
Oh.
was indeed.
Yeah.
Damn.
They've kept the name of the Williams racing team, but it's not family owned anymore.
Oh yeah, I remember you saying.
I think the reason they kept the Williams name is because it's so synonymous with motorsport and
So
Formula
iconic.
1. Yeah. But yeah, it was a fantastic team and still is today, but they're obviously in a rebuilding period.
Yeah.
But they've seen championships.
Damn, okay.
Our next ride is just a block away. It's called the Knee-Jerk Velocity.
Oh.
This attraction lets you buckle up as you become the pilot of this revolutionary contraption. Just like Lewis Hamilton and Jenson Button, you control the destiny of your racing machine. Feel the rush as you navigate a maze of hidden pipework channels where split-second decisions mean the difference between high-speed woos and low-speed boos. This isn't just an ordinary thrill ride. It's a white-knuckle testing of timing, skill and nerve. Navigate through corner sections where you need maximum downforce, then make your move on the straights where drag becomes your absolute enemy. Now, before I get onto this amazing technical innovation, I need to give you, all listening, and you two, some context. We did an episode on the technical regulations, and within that episode, I explained a scenario where the FIA stepped in to deem a technical regulation created by McLaren as illegal. I'd seen a video on the F1 YouTube page and included it in our episode. Nav then clipped it up as a social clip and we carried on living our lives. And suddenly, we were inundated with likes, new followers and comments.
To anyone who found us and are now listening to this podcast because of that social clip, hello, welcome, thank you. It was a stressful day.
But very fun.
Yeah.
It turned out we'd pissed off the F1 community. And here are some of my favourite comments that we got in our first experience with the internet as Grand Prix.
Ooh!
Butchered this explanation. Too many people think they understand F1. This isn't true at all. Dude, basic research? Source, trust me, bro.
I did love that one.
You explained it almost right, except everything was wrong. These clowns have no idea what they're talking about.
Clouds!
Why is that? Everything else is okay, yeah?
I prefer frauds.
That's fair. When girls decide to podcast about shit they don't know anything about.
Sorry, we'll stick to talking about nails, shall we?
No, someone said it's a knitting club.
Oh, of course.
Never let the truth get in the way of a good story.
Preach!
Funny.
Preach!
Proof anyone could fart into a microphone these days. This is incorrect. And my favourite. And you three are retarded.
Someone actually said that!
You can't say that word anymore.
So yesterday, I was sitting on the sofa next to Reem and I couldn't stop laughing. And she was like, what are you laughing at? And I was like, nothing. And then I read, and you three are retarded. And I couldn't stop laughing. And Reem looked really irritated that I wasn't sharing. That's what I was laughing at.
Okay, now it all makes sense. Also, I'm having an abstract moment. I know that's not related to the episode. But I gave my opinion about Norris's performance at the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, and that was clipped up as a social clip, and now I'm getting hate for it. Now I know how you felt.
Hey, you need to remember that sometimes the haters are vocal, but the silent supporters are always there. You just
No,
can't
didn't
hear
give that
them.
much support.
You just can't hear them or see them.
And I would just like to say, it sounds like I'm the villain here because I'm the one that's clipping up the things that are then giving these two hate. Reem tells me what to clip. All I do is make the clips. I don't decide what is going into the clips.
You've actually had to veto one of the
Yes.
episodes I told you to
I have had to
before.
veto a clip that Reema suggested to save her from an F-duct moment.
No, I mean, it is what it is. We don't really give a fuck,
Yeah,
do
it
we?
gave us like, 1,000 followers off
Yeah.
of that, so
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Whatever. So I thought, let's do this thing again. And this time, let's do this right, shall we?
Yes.
But I must stress, make this a social clip and I'll hunt you down and I'll find you. Don't you fucking
I was
dare.
going to suggest to make this a social.
No!
Note it down.
No! The F-duct was McLaren's innovative aerodynamic system introduced for the 2010 Formula 1 season on their car, the MP425. It was dubbed the F-duct after the inlet to the system was located near the F on the Vodafone logo on the nose of their car. The ingenious design allowed drivers to manipulate drag levels during a race and essentially functioning as a precursor to today's DRS. What does DRS stand for? Now don't say nothing.
This was in your exam and you got it wrong. So
Okay, fine. I'll give you the first word.
Drag,
All right.
reduction,
Why's your arm in the air?
speed.
no.
Drag, reduction. Did I get the first two right? Drag, reduction, Support.
No.
Oh. Drag reduction. Sister.
What? Did you say sister?
All right, RuPaul, back to the fucking actual answer.
Drag reduction sass.
Drag reduction stupid. Now give me the answer.
Drag reduction slay on that comeback. Look at us farting into our mic.
Is this turning into a knitting club, ladies?
And you guys are retarded. So.
They don't know anything about F1, and I'm here struggling to say DRS, please. Drag reduction system.
Yeah, finally.
Why would sister be the I guess before
That
system?
was a joke.
All right.
No, it's not me.
Ew, your throat is talking back.
I'm ill.
It's giving Mean Girls. I'm sick.
Boo, you whore. The F-duct system consisted of a network of internal pipes directing airflow through the car. The air inlet was a small opening where high-speed air would enter. The dual pathway, the airflow split into two different channels, one leading to the driver's cockpit and another extending into the car's rear. Driver control. By covering the cockpit inlet with their elbows, drivers would redirect airflow towards the rear wing. Aerodynamic disruption. When activated, the redirected air would cause the rear wing to stall, reducing both downforce and drag. This allowed McLaren drivers to strategically reduce drag on straights while maintaining downforce throughout corners.
Impact and adoption. The FIA confirmed the F-duct was legal since it was driver-operated rather than mechanically movable. Several teams quickly adopted their own versions. Sauber was first to copy it, introducing their version at the second race of the season. Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull, Force India and Renault followed suit. Ferrari ultimately abandoned their system due to integration difficulties with their existing car design. McLaren demonstrated the system's effectiveness at Monza 2010, when they tested two different setups: Hamilton without the F-duct and a low-drag wing versus Button with the F-duct and a high downforce wing. Button's setup proved superior, securing him second place. Now we move on to the legacy and the ban. The F-duct's lifespan was short-lived and only survived the 2010 season. It was voted out on cost and safety grounds in a meeting at the 2010 Spanish Grand Prix. Teams faced difficulties incorporating it into homologated chassis, with the questionable designs emerging that required drivers to take their hands off the steering wheel to activate it. The concept was banned.
Vindication!
Despite McLaren finishing second in the championship, the innovation was credited with inspiring the FIA to introduce an official DRS system in 2011, which serves a similar function to reducing drag on designated straight sections.
That introduced the DRS?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Damn!
The F-duct remains one of Formula One's most celebrated examples of creative engineering within the sport's complex regulations and remains one of our most hated moments on social media.
I thought the DRS existed from like when F1 first started.
No, not at all.
Oh.
I think it's like the same issue that they do with the regulations, which is to make cars have it so that cars find it easier to overtake and follow one another. There is a lot of debate that lots of people have said that the cars are so sophisticated now that they don't need DRS because it's outdated and it's been around for so many years, and it is in itself a driver's aid, and it would make racing more exciting because it means that the car development would have to be even more cutting edge from the teams, whereas they're being lazy by just relying on DRS. So some people really want to get rid of it, but that was what started it.
I don't think they should get rid of it. It's fun.
Izzy, have your Valtteri Bottas Russia Grand Prix moment.
To whom it may concern, fuck you. Thank you. No, but I watched a summarised version of that video, and it was very quick. And if you remember, I was talking about how the regulations for a period of time are set in stone, but they can be altered and changed if there's things the FIA don't want to be included anymore, or they want to outlaw certain things. And then it became a whole thing. So
And
I
now
thought, let's do
you're
it.
passionate about it.
Now I'm an F1 F-duct advocate.
Yes.
Apparently.
You run the F1 F-Duck support group.
Yes.
The official spokesperson for F-Duct.
No, I don't want to hate.
Oh.
I'm not that knowledgeable.
Shall we move on to our final ride?
Yes.
Ooh, we've reached the final one.
That's so scary.
Death so scary.
Don't you agree?
No, das so scary.
Daz! Okay.
For our final thrill-seeking mission of the day, we are in for a treat. On this revolutionary ride, you're in complete control. You sit in your cable car and simply pull or push the steering column to instantly transform your front wheels from straight-ahead speed demons to corner-carving masters. Why go on a coaster that takes you where you want when you can decide how intense your ride is on Das So Scary? Watch in amazement as your steering wheel becomes more than just steering. It's your secret weapon for perfect tyre temperature control. One push changes everything, giving you high-speed thrills and fast cornering. Warning, this innovation was so clever that it was banned after just one season. Experience the steering revolution while you still can.
Ooh.
The Mercedes-Lewis dynasty began in 2013 when Lewis Hamilton made his move from McLaren. But the real game changer came in 2014 with a massive technical regulation overhaul that hit the sport. Mercedes had a secret weapon, a hybrid engine they'd been developing in the shadows for 2 years. Lewis dominated immediately, clinching his second world title with 11 victories out of 19 races. He followed that up with the championship in 2015, and suddenly it was crystal clear to everyone watching. Mercedes had the best car, the best driver, and would rule the grid until the next major regulation change in 2022. Fast forward to 2020. Mercedes were already the overwhelming favourites, but on just the second day of pre-season testing, all eyes were locked on to the Silver Arrows. The broadcasters caught something incredible on the onboard camera. Mercedes drivers Valtteri Bottas and Lewis Hamilton were moving their steering wheel in ways no one had ever seen before. Tech chief James Allison dropped the bombshell during a lunchtime press conference, revealing this ingenious innovation called DAS. Shortly after, their Twitter feed revealed what it stood for: Dual Axis Steering. Ferrari's Sebastian Vettel wasn't having it. "It's called a steering wheel, not a push or pull wheel," he protested, noting that the steering wheel becomes more than just steering. Here's how the magic worked. DAS allowed drivers to pull the steering wheel towards themselves or push it away, adjusting the toe angle of the front wheels on demand. On straights, they'd pull the wheel closer, setting the wheels to 0 toe for maximum speed. Approaching corners, they'd push it away, creating toe out for superior cornering grip. But the real genius was tyre temperature control. Drivers could independently decide which part of the wheel to heat up, which was crucial during safety car periods or qualifying preparation laps, where these tiny details make massive differences. And the results were devastating. Mercedes won 13 out of 17 races in 2020, with many considering that car one of the fastest in F1 history, breaking multiple lap records along the way.
Damn.
And the system was completely legal. Team complaints were rejected across the board, but the FIA, recognising the unfair advantage, changed the rules to prevent other teams from copying it.
That's not fair.
Well, yeah. DAS had exactly one season to shine before being banned forever.
Bring it back!
There was a great moment in Drive to Survive where Christian Horner and Toto Wolff are walking over. Horner obviously wanting to appeal it because, you know, they were the biggest rivals at the time to Mercedes and wanting to, you know, get rid of their advantage or whatever. And he was just, I can't remember what the quote was.
Christian Horner is like talking to the cameras and to people in his team, like, you know, it's fucking DAS, like, what the fuck is this about? And he's ready, primed and ready, in only a way Christian Horner could be with Toto Wolff, to sort of tell him what's what about this DAS piece of, you know, bullshit in his eyes. But as he gets to Toto Wolff, as they're walking to a press conference, Christian Horner's like, yeah, you know, I've seen your DAS. And Toto turns to him and he's like, I know, and as a piece of technology, isn't it just fantastic? And then Christian Horner's forced to be like, yeah, it's great.
Meanwhile, hating it. It was such a good clip.
It was so funny because you could tell that it's like, you know, any person you're competitive with, you don't want to be agreeing that they're great. You want to be saying like, fuck you.
And instead he just had to be like,
Yeah. So funny.
Well, is it, just to bring it to this season,
yeah,
you know how McLaren is like super dominant?
tire water.
Yes, the tire water. And like Oscar and Lando are winning nearly every race, and they're way ahead of constructors, and to the point where it gets boring to just watch it. Do you think that there's going to be something that comes out about their car, and maybe it's like something that's legal, but then the FIA will say no more for this, just to allow for more competition?
Well, we had it this season with the flexi wing fiasco, if you remember, and lots of teams were speculating that it was to do with their wing. They were creating a mini DRS, and there was lots going on with it. They clamped down on it, and then they continued to be, superior. So that is, an exact example of teams seeing there's an unfair advantage and they want to try and get it out of the sport so it can be more competitive. I mean, we won't know, will we? We won't know until it's all said and done, but there hasn't been to this point a categoric device or innovation that we've seen on the McLaren that we can say that is one of the main reasons that makes their car so fast. And in all of these cases, that one innovation isn't the only reason that they were fast. The rest of the car design is also top notch.
But it helped.
But it helped. However, the idea of the technical regulation cycles is to keep competition fierce and to keep it exciting and keep it different. Because coming into 2022, we'd had Mercedes had been dominating. 2021, we had that fantastic battle between Max and Lewis. And then we had Red Bull completely aced the regulations, as well as Ferrari. So we've had different people winning over the last 4 years, but we started it with Ferrari looking red hot. Then we had Max and Red Bull's dominance. We've ended with McLaren. So those regulations have been successful in that ideology. But 2026 and beyond, we've got no fucking clue.
Maybe Aston Martin.
Maybe Aston Martin.
Yeah. Maybe Williams.
I think it's when you go to, sort of ground zero again when it comes to regulations, it really is anyone's game. And lots of teams, as we know, are starting to hear more and more as like, well, we've moved off the development of this car and onto 2026. And it's things like this sort of episode kind of tells you why, because if you can find something on track and tighten up your setup, as we hear drivers talk about from qualifying over to the race, talking about, we need to push the car in this direction, that might get you a 10th of a lap. But if you can get a lasting advantage that can last a year, that might be a second per lap. So that's what they're chasing.
And we won't know what next year looks like until pre-season testing.
Ooh, be an exciting time.
Another quote from Christian Horner is that, which I think is quite funny,
yes,
is that when it comes to testing, he was saying like, testing, everyone's sort of sandbagging left and right, but it won't be till the first race when everyone has to pull their trousers down and we actually see what we're working with.
Brilliant analogy.
Amazing analogy.
Oh, bring him back.
Well, just for the funny moments.
Well, rumours are circulating. Are they not?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, he might be back.
I
was joking. I don't actually want to see
Team
him.
principal and CEO of Haas.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought they liked Ayukamatsu.
Apparently not.
Look at me, remembering the team principal name.
Just not remembering what DRS stands for. Yeah, that's the rumour going around.
Downgrade.
Okay.
From Red Bull to Haas.
Downgrade?
Yeah.
He was able to be the team principal of that team in 2005. By 2010, they won a world championship.
Yeah, I'm saying, what a downgrade for him to go from Red Bull to Haas.
Oh, no. Sorry. I thought
but
you meant...
it's part of, the development of it, right?
Yeah,
the whole point
true.
is they want someone who can take a shitty car and make it great.
But I mean, that will be a big adjustment for him, because Red Bull, one of the reasons they can continue to implement so many upgrades is because they have the money to do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know there's cost cuts, but they also just have lots of money and they have a big team, they have many people working.
But you have a man
But Haas doesn't have that money.
Yeah, but you have a man that brought, that started up Red Bull and, acquired it from Jaguar and started racing in 2005. And what Christian Horner was fantastic at was being able to bring in the right people at the right time to build an absolute empire. So he might be fantastic.
And getting that money will be part of his job as well.
And having a name like Christian Horner with that much experience attached to him and the success that he's brought to Red Bull it gets things generating. If you look at Aston Martin, the fact that we're able to get Adrian Newey has generated buzz for that team. It makes them one to watch because they know the weight of that name might as well be gold dust. And I think it'll be the same for Christian Horner.
Yeah.
Damn, okay.
Whether you love him, hate him, indifferent to him, whatever, doesn't matter.
He'll be back on Drive to Survive.
Yes, and I'm also genuinely, I said it before, you know, I don't like all of his actions. I don't agree with all the things he says and the way he carries on. But for the sport, I would love to see what he does with a team that is lower down the field because I think he would have a positive effect, and I'd love to see how that transpires. Filmed on the behind the scenes, him wearing a Haas t-shirt, I'm living for it. I want to see it.
Of course, this is just rumours. It is just speculation. He has still got a court case at the start of next year to discuss his allegations within the Red Bull team. But yeah, that is the current tea that's spilling.
Interesting, because it was geared towards Alpine for quite a while. So interesting that like Haas has now entered the picture as a potential. Well, that has been a few of the technical loopholes that have been innovated and created within the sport F1 that we have loved watching and do love watching over the years. If you've enjoyed this episode, please let us know. You can follow, like, subscribe, and all those fantastic things on X, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. We will be back next week as we head to a night race, which means night race colours.
Woo!
For our podcast. I don't know what the fuck I don't know what the F1's coverage is doing. I don't care about that. It will be the Singapore Grand Prix. We have seen some fantastic races there. It's a grueling race, hot environments and hot drivers, hot tea. I can't wait for it. Leave us a review if you can. And don't forget that we are Independent Podcast Award finalists.
Yeah, we are.
Keep that ringing in your head. And if you need a wish for 11/11, you know what to do.
Wish that we win.
Yes.
Because we've spoken about it so much now, it'll be embarrassing if we don't.
No, we'll do a whole half an hour recording rant about how, it's rigged and whatever. It was rigged! Yes, we'll be Christian Horner.
Change the regulations!
But if we win, we'll be Zach Brown. Yeah!
Yeah, exactly.
Anything you'd like to say, ladies, before we sign off?
I've had fun at Loophole Land.
Same.
Oh,
I'm only a little bit nauseous, but I feel good.
yeah, that's kind of you all the time, huh?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.